welcome to Gamesthetic. It's our second week in a row, and no Alex Light. He's still on vacation somewhere in Florida, and we are left with just myself and John to once again run this, and for me to actually know how to do music this time.
Oh yeah, you didn't have it last week.
Yeah, I just killed it last week. But I'm Zach. I'm here hosting again from the main room, and then I got John with me. How's it going today, John?
It's going all right. We got a little more than we did last week, so it should be a little less chaotic jumping around.
I don't know. We don't have an actual script wrote up, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we did. We just did away with that. We couldn't be bothered for it.
But going into that, so it is another week without Alex. So me and John, we are gonna hit some couple topics this week that came out this week, and then we're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna see how this show goes. So if you're here, enjoy. And next week we'll probably have Alex back again, so we'll have some more order to all of it.
He may just end up staying away. This is our show now.
Well, just throw that out. We do still have sponsors, though. So we do still have that. We still have Agent Ink. Stuff still coming out on that. Some final ideas are coming out. So we should hopefully have something for that to show off here in like a couple weeks. Because, yeah, no, that stuff looks really nice. The few things I've seen. So I really want to show that off. And, of course, Wayward Beard Company. For all your beard stuff. I mean, I got something going here, but it's not really anything. Then Rogue Energy. I still want those cans. They haven't released another date for those cans. They look good. They sound good, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, cans seem good. I'm excited for the new flavors. They sound real good.
They do sound good. And of course, we also got Red Dragon, who was sponsored as well. And then we also have our Discord channel that you can always join with the link below, as well as all our promo codes and everything also down below as well. And of course, you can also check out the website SparkE3.com. And you can sign up for $5 a month and get access to episodes early, or you can just sign up for free. Help us out that way as well. And I think with all that, that's all the plugs and whatnot. So let's get into it. So what we want to start with, John? EA sound good?
Yeah. So seems like we're gonna be getting a new like PC EA app. We're they're moving away from the Origin app, which, I mean, I'm kind of glad to see that the Origin app is going away, but I'm also less enthused that it's just a new EA app taking its place.
Yeah, it's just a new EA launch. I mean, I never really liked Origin.
It's like probably my second least favorite of the independent apps or like the independent launchers that everybody uses.
I mean, it was nice for what it was because it gave us EA games before they got put on everything else. But I mean, I was never a big fan of Origin. I think I maybe used it for like 2 years, and after that, I forgot it was a thing.
It's like in recent years, the only thing that I've had it installed on my computer for is whenever I go back and play Apex. Because
I did not realize Apex went through Origin. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's like it always went through it, but I mean I had downloaded it through there initially, I'm pretty sure, and so it's just mapped there on my computer.
Gotcha.
So it's like the only thing I ever kept Origin for. So I mean, it's a bit dated at this point. It hadn't seen the love that some of these other like softwares that everybody has, or like these other hubs that people have. Origin's just kind of been the same for
10 years.
Years and years now.
But
so the fact that we're getting a new EA launcher, I mean, it'll be nice to have like I said, that like new fresh coat of paint essentially.
Pretty much. So a couple things that came out of the announcement for it was, so it is going to completely replace Origin. Origin is for sure going away. For anyone who's still using Origin and worried about their Origin library, don't worry. EA is supposed to be sending out invites soon to allow you to carry over all that stuff over from Origin to the EA app. It's supposed to be the fastest and lightest EA client to date. I don't know. I don't get the lightest thing unless, I guess assume like memory-wise?
I would assume something like that. It's also an interesting way to phrase it because the fastest EA launcher, your comparison is Origin. It's like, wait, there's not much of, you're not competing against anything except what you're replacing.
Of course, with the new launcher, it's getting an overhauled design. It's going to allow background downloads and updates finally, as well as allowing cross-platform friends list.
Yeah, which I mean, at this point, if one of these independent hubs does not like allow you to connect all of your different accounts that
It's
we
screwed.
have to have for these, I mean, it's kind of dead in the water.
It pretty much is. But I mean, overall, for anyone who's still stuck using Origin and whatnot, you're getting a new, fresh paint of stuff, new look, hopefully faster stuff, more user friendly, all that fun stuff.
I mean, the one thing there that really kind of speaks to it, aside from like background updates and all that, which it didn't allow for previously, it's just the faster, because
Yeah.
Origin is not a fast program.
Oh, it is not. It is rough. I mean, honestly, I can probably look, and I may have gotten an Origin email like 3 years ago. It's literally the last time ever. Oh yeah, looking forward to that. I don't believe they gave any release date for it at this time, just that it is coming soon.
Yeah, I assume it'll be something where they start the transition and it's like there'll be kind of waves of people moving over from it. And even it's like I assume if you haven't been using Origin and you have stuff on there, I assume when the time comes that Origin is, or they've fully transitioned over to it and you try to launch Origin, I'm gonna assume they'll just be like, hey, this isn't a thing anymore. Go to this link, and it's like go to this follow this link below, and it'll take you to the new launcher and
And I
with
take
the
that
ability to sign in.
I take that back. As it says in this article right now, is the EA app is actually now available for supported Windows PCs. Unfortunately, it is not out for Mac OS players yet, but it's in the works and should be coming out soon. But for Windows PC, you should be able to go ahead and download the EA app now. So are you looking it up?
Yeah, trying to, but I'm getting lost. Oh, yep. There is a new download link for it.
Cool. So yeah, for all Windows players, you can go download that if you can get that set up if you want to move over your Origin stuff. But other news, we have a whole Sony foray into the PC, all that fun stuff. Still no Sony launcher, but they have come out recently in an interview that you saw, John, about what their take on PC and Sony games.
Yeah, because previously when we talked about it, or like when we had kind of speculated about it, I was fully with the fact that Sony games will not be coming next, like on PlayStation and PC for the next 3 to 5 years. We won't get like same day launches.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that is going to be the case because it looks like in an interview with for a YouTuber, PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulse let slip that for PlayStation exclusive games, looks like it'll be at least a year before they would make their way to PC, which not unexpected for me at least.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but actually, like a quicker turnaround to getting it on PC than I would have thought they'd be aiming for if they're looking at their time frame just being a year. But that does not include live service games. Any live service games uh, that take place on both platforms, like Destiny 2 and that, they'll still receive the same update or updates at the same time or within a short time period. It's not going to be like, okay, well the update goes to console and then it's going to be a year before it gets there. Any live service games will still get timely updates. It's just going to be their PlayStation exclusives will take at least a year to get to PC.
I mean, you're right though. That is a much faster turnaround than we honestly expected versus some of these games we have been getting that have been getting PC ports like Spider-Man, Horizon,
Yeah,
all that fun
yeah,
stuff,
'cause
and
like
those coming out still at full
yeah, 'cause
$50-$60 prices.
I was like Spider-Man was 2-3 years before it came to PC. God of War was like 3.5-4 years before it came to PC.
Miles Morales was just announced recently. It's going to be coming to PC soon. I mean, at least
Yeah,
a year turnover and keeping them at that price seems a lot more
it's
reasonable.
a lot more reasonable than like 4 years
Years,
after the game comes out, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna release it again at $50.
and
It's
the
like, okay,
worst
well,
part,
if I buy it on the console, it's $10.
the worst part though is that there's people that only have PCs and will pay that for those games just because those games are very good, and
Yeah,
they will outright pay that easily. And Sony's taking full advantage of that.
yeah. But I mean, we've heard that Sony was very much like moving towards uh putting their releases on PC. It's been evident over the past few years as more and more games have come there. Just now we have at least somewhat of a time frame to expect these exclusives to make their way to PC
Mm.
after initial launch at least.
Which will be nice, especially for PC communities, since a lot of people won't have to wait as long. I mean, like Deathloop, which just came out at the beginning of this month. For everything else, it was on PlayStation and PC for a year exclusively, in which a year wasn't that long, and I mean, people still picked it up and played it again a year later. So
Well, that's the nice thing to say for some of these exclusivity deals. It's like if it's gonna be a year, that's nice because I mean hell, like a couple years ago, a 6 month exclusivity deal seemed like it was an eternity,
forever,
and now we're looking at like, oh, if it's only gonna be a year, that's not too bad.
that's not bad at all.
It's amazing how the perspective on that changes.
That is sort of funny. Um, yeah, no, I mean, overall, at least for me, I feel like that marketing isn't bad at all. It's actually very um, good, and that gives us a nice little timetable for accessibility for all that fun stuff, especially with we did just get the announcement this week of a Sony exclusive God of War Ragnarok has gone gold. So
Woo!
here we go. We're almost there, everybody. Everyone looking for
We're we're
Ragnarok.
we're uh just before a month out because yeah, at the it's like at the time we're doing this, it's the 8th, and God of War is next month on the 9th, so we are officially closing in on it,
Yeah.
and I'm excited. I can't wait.
I mean, that's you and Alex thing. I might have a
Oh yeah.
PS5 by that time, but I probably won't pick it up immediately.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a that's like I forgot to reply. Alex was texting me yesterday. He was like, "Hey, do you wanna it's like I'm setting this up for like this time. Do you want to go do this, or are you gonna be in deep with God of War?" And I'm like, I mean, what do you think?
I mean, that's to
Like
be
I've been
fair.
I've been waiting on that for like 4 years now.
Well, moving on from that. So, future things, we have actually had several announcements from CD Projekt Red this week, and them
Oh yeah, this
releasing.
this kind of came out of fucking
I mean,
nowhere.
it really did, but I mean, it was sort of a amazing timing with it, with everything, with the wins that Alex has been saying for Cyberpunk since Edge Runners came out, and everyone hitting up Cyberpunk. So we got an announcement of several new CD Projekt Red projects in the work with only code names, but we do know that they are a next game in the Witcher series of games, a spin-off of from the Witcher games, and then actually the second game in the Cyberpunk series. There was one more I can't remember. Do
Well,
you?
I think it was basically there was two spin-off games for Witcher
Mm-hmm.
announced, or that were announced that they were going to be in the works, and then I think it was 3 other mainline Witcher games. At least like expected to be made, with only like the next installment of Witcher kind of being the focus on that side of it.
Yes.
But yeah, and then like you said, riding the high of the cyberpunk resurgence, we got the announcement of the full-fledged sequel to Cyberpunk 2077, uh, which
Which is
I mean,
currently called
I'm
Orion.
yeah, and like they when I think it was in an interview or something, or when it was talked about, basically saying, like basing off of Cyberpunk, and they expected they were gonna need like 350 to 500 developers for the Cyberpunk sequel,
Cyberpunk.
which I
That,
mean
that's fucking ridiculous.
that's a huge team to work on it.
I mean, CD Projekt Red always has very large teams. It seems for some of these games, and I mean, it took them 12 years for Cyberpunk just because of all the fun stuff with that. So I'm hoping they can cut that at least in half for Cyberpunk 2
Well,
with a
I
better
as
release
I
window.
as yeah, I assume so because I feel like a lot of it is going to be built off like they're going to take the base of Cyberpunk in probably in the state that it is now, where people are happy with it.
Probably, hopefully.
It's like probably take that and then expand upon it, or just take the framework that was there, implement everything that they've done since it, and then build it up from there. Because we don't really know what it's going to be, but
No, all we know is just going to continue taking place in that universe. So it may
yeah,
be in a completely different city as far as we know.
true. But yeah, and then like I don't even know how many Witcher games were announced. I think it was 4 or 5 that were announced for it, but I mean it's been years since uh The Witcher 3, and it's like I mean it's touted as one of the greatest RPG games of all time, if not the greatest. And it's like them diving back into it now, especially since in the past few years the Witcher franchise in itself has gotten a resurgence
Yes, because the
with
Netflix
like the
series.
Netflix series and everything like that. It, I mean, they've got good timing for all of their properties right now, so now they've just got to buckle down and deliver on it.
So yeah, so here I pulled it up. So they announced Cyberpunk Orion, which is the second Cyberpunk game. The Witcher Polaris, which is going to be the next installment in the Witcher series. Um, Pro- Project Canis Majoris, which is going to be a full-fledged Witcher game, but separate from the current
The
main
mainline Witcher
series. But
series,
it's still going to be a full-length game, apparently, which is going to be
probably
ridiculous.
just new set of characters, probably.
Or just other characters that we know. Cyrus, which is going to be set in the Witcher universe and created with support from CDPR, offering multiplayer gameplay on top of single player. And
That'll be
then,
weird.
yeah, and then Project Hadar, which is going to be a completely new IP, which is in the more or less just creative process of, hey, we have an idea, and they're more or less
Yeah,
just throwing things at a
yeah.
wall.
Like we have something we want to do, and they're gonna let us play with it. So we'll see in a few years on that one probably.
So yeah, so at least in the works that we know is a new Witcher game, or a new Cyberpunk
New.
game, 3 Witcher games, and then a new IP that is currently being drawn up.
Yeah, and all of that announcement they just showed up one day and were like, you know what? Let's just drop all this
It's
and
little.
let people try to absorb it.
It's literally what it is. It was just they went on Twitter and just went, "Hey, we got all this going. Here you go." They even put up at the end of all that a YouTube video of the full strategy update of where they're going with this.
Yeah, which I mean, they're riding some pretty strong highs right now, and all this did was give more expectation, more hype to them. So,
I
and
mean,
it's like
people are ready for it.
we we still have the Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty expansion
Yes.
supposed to come out next year before it's like before all this other. So after this announcement in particular, where they're like, "Hey, we're working on all of this stuff," and people get excited, they've got to nail this expansion now. Because if something goes wrong with this expansion, after all the goodwill they've brought back up, that's gonna be bad.
I mean, they are. I hope that CD Projekt Red is fully aware that they cannot fuck up again. And I mean,
Or at least,
honestly, they are in a better state at this point. They got Cyberpunk working, got most of the glitches, whatnot. They have that base, and as well as they don't have to deal with the previous gen consoles now, because we are definitely in full steam of next gen consoles only. Because we are starting to see less and less releases for Xbox One and PS4.
yeah. So I mean, it'll be exciting because a lot of this stuff is, I mean, shit, all this stuff still has code names
Yes.
and everything. Basically saying, hey, we're greenlit to work on all of this. We'll show you something in a couple years. Which, again, I think it was last week or the week before when I was bitching about people announcing stuff super early. It's like this is another one where that happens. But I mean, it's exciting to know all of this is coming. But at the same time, it's frustrating knowing, oh, all of this is coming in 5 years.
And you never know. Maybe we'll see some before that, but depending on how, because they're saying that all these are going to be full length games.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious what they're going to consider a full length game, since we both know Witcher 3 and all of its expansions are fucking humongous. And then Cyberpunk was a humongous game. So I can only assume that the expansion is going to be similar to one of the Witcher expansions, which are just add several dozens of hours to the game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like where they consider full length, because like for Cyberpunk, I did not do all of the content available in Cyberpunk. I played through the story. I did some side missions and stuff. I played it for just under 29 hours.
Yeah.
And that was a full game's length for me. Whereas Witcher 3 is, if you try to get as much out of that game as you can, it's hundreds of hours long.
Yes.
So
And people enjoy that versus Valhalla.
Wait, there's people that enjoyed Valhalla for what it's like. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I also acknowledged this is not for me right now.
Yeah, I don't think
It's like,
I heard anyone say Witcher's too fucking long. I just always heard I need more Witcher.
yeah, it's like I think the difference there is Witcher, because I haven't played Witcher games, but from people that I have played them, it seems to just be the gameplay loop is a lot more engaging than like Valhalla was, because Valhalla is pretty straightforward. It's like there's not a lot there's not a lot of variance to it. You find your way to play, and then you approach the situations pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Whereas like Witcher, I feel like there's a lot more freedom in it.
See, the only thing I can say from this is hopefully at least one of these is going to be on Unreal Engine 5, and then depending on when they come out, maybe Unreal Engine 6.
I could only assume that some of, like, at least if not all of them, several of these would be in 5. Because at this point, it's like it's like you announced them, people aren't gonna be it. It's like people are gonna want them, but nobody's gonna rush you on it, because especially on the Witcher side of it, it's like coming on. It's like you got Witcher 3 back there, which, like I said, people hold that as one of the greatest RPG games ever.
I mean,
So,
I'm surprised Witcher 3 doesn't do the Skyrim thing, because it could get away with it.
I mean, it's only been released a few times, but people love that game, so as long as you do right by the fourth game, people aren't gonna care how long it takes.
I feel like there's also that small margin of just going after, because everyone was always happy with CD Projekt games because they always came out good. Then we got Cyberpunk, and now there's Witcher's fans going, please don't fuck it up, please don't fuck it up, please don't fuck it up.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if you're gonna, I'm gonna hate that I'm gonna say this, but with these games they have coming out, if you're gonna fuck one of them up, the Cyberpunk sequel is the one to fuck up because that's gonna be the expected one.
I mean, you're not
If
wrong.
that one comes out in like okay condition, people will be happy. If the Witcher one comes out fucked up, CD Projekt Red's gonna burn.
I mean, you're not wrong in the least bit.
It's like I hate that I say that. It's like hopefully they all come out great and there's no problems with them. But if one of them, if you got to throw one to the wolves, throw the one expected.
There it is. Yeah, which is sad to say, but hey, it is where we are. But I mean, you got anything else to say about them?
You watched the Mario trailer?
I mean, yeah, that was a thing.
That's where my brain went there.
I mean,
this. I knew they were doing a Nintendo Direct just for the trailer.
I didn't expect they were going to go that hard.
It's like they did a Direct just for the trailer, but for some reason I thought it was going to be more than just the trailer. It was like a couple short little like video clips from like what was it, Chris Pratt and Jack Black.
I want to say whenever they were going into the whole introducing our voice cast and everything, I was like, oh, they're introducing voice cast and everything, and they introduced Chris Pratt. I was like, okay, that's expected. But they said 2. As soon as Chris Pratt went on the screen, I just started going in my head. I was going, Jack Black, Jack Black, Jack Black.
You got it, man.
Then he finally shut up, and I just screamed for no fucking reason.
Yeah, I will say as well, everybody, it's like from the cast announcement and them constantly talking about working on it, trying to make it like quality how Nintendo always does. You're like, okay, yeah, it's like they're tossing some money at it. Man, that trailer starts up and I just sit there and go, holy shit, they threw down the wallet.
Oh yeah, no, they went hard.
Because it's like regardless of if some of the voice acting is just the characters or some of it's like if you're not a fan of who they chose as actors, God, they went hard on the animation. It looks fucking good.
The animation is solid. Out of the voice actors that we saw, Jack Black is solid Bowser.
You can't even really tell it's Jack Black.
You really can't.
It's really good.
I forget who they cast as Kamek, but Kamek wasn't bad.
Yeah, I will say that it's like the trailer itself. I mean, if it's one of those where it's like it's like everybody's expecting it to kind of be kind of a goofy look at all the actors they got in this for voice acting and that. Gotta say, I mean, this trailer kind of sold me a little bit.
I mean, it sort of sold me like that whole just contrast of Bowser versus the Penguins was fucking fantastic.
That's exactly what I was thinking of because it's just they all come out, start throwing snowballs and shit, and I'm like, man, I might actually be sold on this movie now.
I mean, all those snowballs were done animated fantastically, and just the hard contrast of just how fucking serious the Penguins are versus Bowser giving the "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, like it's all of them going hard, throwing snowballs, and then it just cuts to Bowser with snow on his face. Like, are you fucking serious right now? I think it's safe to say we got an actual movie on our hands here.
Yeah, it's a shame that it was supposed to be originally holidays, but it did get pushed back to March of next year. I mean, it's definitely a movie to look forward to in the spring. It was mostly showing off Bowser and Jack Black. We did get a small moment at the end of the trailer with Chris Pratt doing his Mario, which is just Chris Pratt as Mario.
It's just Chris Pratt's voice acting. I mean, that's what we got. It's kind of what we expected to get.
And then Charlie Day as Toad.
Yeah, and then at the very end of the trailer, we got a little bit of Luigi just running around screaming. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
At this point, at least it's less of a meme and more of like, okay,
we got a serious thing here now.
Yeah, it's like we actually got a movie here. It's not just a meme.
And the only real sad part I had about this, which I guess sad for me, exciting for others, at the end of all that trailer and seeing that, I was like, oh shit, we actually got a film now. Shit, if this does well, we might actually have a Sonic versus Mario at some point.
Yeah, it could happen. But yeah, man, overall, trailer actually looked good. That's kind of where I was. I was a little. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was.
I mean, it was good, but the real trailer we need to talk about was our Scarlet and Violet information that came out this week. We had another direct, which was specifically just about Scarlet and Violet and get them going a little bit more in depth in some things.
We got a nice 14-minute kind of just packed full, like packed full direct for it. Which I mean, some information we had basically just got more clarification on stuff we had seen in previous trailers. So we got some more looks at some of the new Pokemon. We got Giraffurig's evolution
of him just consuming itself.
Forgot what the name of it is, but his tail, basically Giraffurig's tail goes to his head.
It's like Farragoth or something like that.
But yeah, it's like, so we got that, and then kind of it seemed like replacing the camps from Sword and Shield. We've got picnics now.
Yes.
Where you can create, like, instead of making curry, now we're making sandwiches.
Yes,
is the change there.
And the sandwiches actually give some sort of buffs and stuff to your Pokemon. You can also craft TMs apparently.
Yeah, so there's it's like battling wild Pokemon when you knock them out. Kind of somewhat of bringing some things forward from Arceus that we had. Is crafting is back in some ways, but like Zach said, there's a TM crafting machine. So when you knock out wild Pokemon or capture Pokemon, I guess, like you'll get like bits of their fur, some items will drop off as like crafting components, which you can use to craft the various TMs and that. Which the interesting thing that was kind of noticed in the TM crafting is to craft the TMs, you also need league points.
Yes, which you get from
we don't have a lot of clarification on, I don't think.
No, they haven't really given a whole lot. Besides, you can earn league points through doing the gym battles. That's the only thing they've said so far.
I would assume that you would get them from like gym battles or like gym battles, trainers, and things like that. I would assume would give them, because otherwise the gym challenges. I mean, you're not gonna have. It's not gonna be that many battles that you have. I don't think. I wouldn't imagine.
Well, you may get a lot from the damned gym tests that you have to do now. Fucking those things.
So either you're gonna get a lot from that, or there'll be like recurring ways that you can earn these points back, or like earn more points to be able to craft TMs, because we can't just have like a limited amount of points that we can earn.
Or maybe what I was thinking, when you battle other just random trainers, maybe you get Pokédollars plus some league points.
Yeah, it's like it could be random battles along that path, or random battles in general could give you a small amount. That we'll have to wait for more information on, or just see as it comes closer.
The thing that I really like that they did show off was the auto battling.
Yes, I was excited to see how this is gonna work, because I wasn't sure.
So with that, what it is pretty much, whatever your front Pokemon is, your starter Pokemon, you can send them out by giving a command, and they just go fight another Pokemon and just get the XP and rewards. So you're not having to go into the battle animation every time for every battle that we're used to. So it's actually taking a little bit from Arceus, where it was just the smooth transition in and out. Now it's just not even the transition in; you just go.
Yeah, because I was wondering how it's gonna work, and it's because I was wondering if it's gonna be like in Arceus, where you just throw your Mon like towards the rock and they break it and get the stuff from it, and it kind of is. It's like you just point, you go that way, and they go chase it down to or they'll just run that way, whatever direction you tell them to, and either scavenge items or, like you said, just automatically battle the other Mons. And it's like I don't know if we got exactly how that worked as far as what determines the outcome of the battle.
Not really. No, they didn't say.
It seems like it's just the way, like a new way of grinding so that you don't have to, like you said, constantly go in the battle, grind XP in that. You can just send them out, and that that's your easy experience now.
And another thing that goes with that is one of the paths you can take, because we got the gym battles, the hunting the Titans is what they're called again,
Yeah, Titans.
and then you
Or
have
well, it's like hunting down something else, but it involves like facing down these Titans.
yeah, which are similar to the Guardian battles from Arceus, from what I could tell, pretty much.
It's mostly what it looks like.
Yeah, and then there's the other one where you go deal with the bad kids of the school, and you go and raid their camps, and it's no actual battles until you get to the leader of that camp. It's just, hey, there's this many trainers here, and this is their Pokemon. Go at it, and you're time limited with your 6 Pokemon. Just throw them out to go beat people.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that because it's like it kind of replaces the standard like gauntlets that we would typically see, where
Yes,
you basically you go in there and it's like walk around. It's like you walk in and then there's just people everywhere. So you're like, okay, I can individually battle all of these people, or you go fight them, you go fight them, you go fight them. I'll take this guy.
which is a very interesting mechanic, and after seeing it, I actually quite like it because it does add a different spin to what we're used to, and it sort of also helps counteract that thing what a lot of people do in those gauntlets, like, oh, it's all going to be this type. Well, I'm just going to have this super leveled counter to it and just smash through it.
Yeah, it's like you could probably end up doing that still. It's just not gonna be like this way of doing it where you can send out like your mons to go individually like auto battle against trainers or other mons and that. I mean, it'll encourage a little bit of variety instead of just have like you said, people having one mon or like, okay, this is what I have. It's like, no, well, if you actually invest in some different ones or have like some different types and that, you'll probably actually benefit from it as far as clearing these out a little bit faster
Yeah, because
or
they are
easier.
timed.
Uh, but yeah, it's like other than that, we got kind of a look at the mini map in it, the
Hmm.
new like and the new overall map as well. Uh, we got uh we it's like we did get some information about, apparently you can just find glowing mons while walking around,
Yes,
that when you encounter them they start the battle like terrestrialized,
yes,
and then it's like when you do a certain amount of damage to them,
it breaks it.
it breaks it, and then it looks like you can just catch them from that point. So I mean, that's that's interesting at least. I mean, that way you could go around, and that might be your way of seeing like some of the
Rare.
more rare like terrestrializations for certain mons. It would be like, okay, well they spawn here like this, or like a rare one could spawn here, or something like that.
More than likely. And along with those lines, we also got to see gameplay for the raids against the terrestrialized Pokemon and seeing the new uh, all going at once combat, which seemed fairly smooth
Yeah,
and showed how
but
even if you get your shit tossed, you'll come back after a couple turns.
yeah, because it's entirely time based and not like the Sword and Shield raids where it's like just beat it through attrition or beat it through powering through it or whatever.
Hmm.
The, these raids are just time based, so it doesn't matter if you faint. If you faint, you'll come back in a few seconds,
You just lose
which is
time.
essentially a few rounds. You're just losing out on time. So as long as you can beat it in time, it doesn't matter how many times you go down. As long as basically you can be a glass cannon and work your way through it. It just might be a little closer than you would like sometimes.
Yes. So I mean,
Uh,
looking at it, I think I'll probably enjoy that raid mechanic more versus Sword and Shields.
I hated Sword and Shields. I stopped. I just refused to do raids after a little while because I was just bored with it.
Fair enough.
Because I mean, the the other problem with Sword and Shield were it didn't matter if you had the strength to one shot the mon or anything to it. It would limit your damage based on certain phases of the fight.
Yeah.
Like you could never do more than like a third of its health in an attack, because then it would just phase again, which was frustrating. I didn't like that aspect of it.
I mean, overall, a lot of good information. Do you got anything else with it?
I was just gonna say it's like one nice or kind of interesting little shake up. We got a new like Pokedex for like the first time, or a new way that it's done
Oh yeah, you're right.
in a mainline game, where it's not just go to it and you see like a floating image of the mon there and it tells you about it. It has like actual artwork for each different one with information about them. So we got a nice little visual update for it. So
Yeah,
it's like
that was a nice
doesn't
touch.
really change anything gameplay wise. It's just a nice change of pace.
Yeah, because like they said, it's just the mon in just their natural environment or something is all it is.
Yeah. The only other thing I saw, I think I had it. I don't know if I had it pulled up here, but there were at least two. Yeah, here it is. Two new abilities confirmed. For
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was confirmed by Farigiraf, which was Chew Chud, which allows the Pokemon to eat a berry twice over 2 turns, and Armor Tail, which stops opposing Mon's priority moves. So it's like new abilities. It's like it'll be interesting to see what people end up doing with those, and what Mons, if those are just for Farigiraf, or if those are going to be available for other Mons to see who actually gets access to them.
Yeah, because that Iron Tail could actually do quite a change
Yeah,
up, especially in competitive.
yeah, that would be a very big deal for it. So it'll be very interesting to see how that ends up playing out. See if we get any more additional information before they come out as well.
I was about to say it's about 2 months away, so once God of War hits, we'll have that not too long after.
Yeah, it's like, and then the only other thing on it was just based on some of the images that people pulled up from like pausing through the video. It's like we see like little small images of several new mons as well on the mini map that it looked like, but we don't have full information about those right now. So we'll probably get that information. They'll probably slowly release that over the next couple months.
More than likely, if it's not already on the website.
Yeah, but that's all, or that's the majority of everything that was on there. A lot of information packed into 14 minutes.
I mean, it was. They still haven't told us about the motor Pokemon.
Now I assume that's going to be something that just either right before release, or it's just going to come out and they're going to be like, aha, nobody noticed.
Well, one other thing I do want to shout out though is, so Need for Speed got a new game announced, Unbound.
Oh, I saw something else on this. Okay, you keep going. There was something else I saw that I was.
So it's going to be releasing on PS5, the Xbox Series, and PC only. So next gen stuff only on the Frostbite engine with 4K 60 frames per second. Open world called Lakeshore. It's going to be a return to the street racing roots, which I will probably enjoy because I always enjoyed those Need for Speeds. It's going to have offline single player and crossplay, a new physics system, and visual emphasis on art and graffiti, which is always fabulous in Need for Speed games because, I mean, you're going to be in a car the entire game. Might as well trick it out, right?
Yeah. Just jumping on the Need for Speed train. I don't know if it's available on all devices, but at least on Steam, Need for Speed Heat Deluxe Edition
It's like $5.
is currently 95% off.
It's like $5, isn't it?
It's available for $3.50.
Oh fuck! I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that, and I had seen it and I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, it's like, because then when I I saw this other Need for Speed announcement. I was like, okay, they're hitting Need for Speed now.
Yes, they are. So going from that end of just a game that's been just marked completely down, let's talk about Far Cry 6 and its Game of the Year edition, which will apparently cost $120.
I don't know why they think people are going to pay $120 for it when people didn't really pay. Like, not a lot of people paid $60 for it.
No.
It's like, the, I mean, I don't know if the numbers were a lot higher than what we've seen, but from everything I've heard about the game, it's kind of like it's Far Cry villain good gameplay the same as we've seen
Pretty much.
for the past several games.
It was as a Far Cry game. If
Yeah.
you feel like a Far
It's
Cry
like,
game, pick it up. If you don't, it can just fuck off.
yeah, but it's like I don't. This is in line with. I mean, this is obviously a much higher price point, but this is in line with the Skyrim Legendary Edition showing up on Switch for $70.
Yeah. And they haven't taken.
Except people would pay $70 for Skyrim still.
Apparently not, because they got enough backlash that Switch went, oops.
Yeah, but you know there's people out there.
Oh, someone
that did
would
it.
have, yeah, easily.
It's like people did it. They can't get enough of it. But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, it's Far Cry. I feel like Far Cry games probably just like if you're gonna just keep doing the same formula over and over again, one, you gotta mix it up somehow.
Yeah, it needs a
But if you're gonna
revamp.
keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's like we know what we're getting. At least reduce the price a little bit for us.
I was supposed to say they hit gold with 3, and they managed to make a success out of it with 4. 5 and 6 have been very blah.
Yeah,
They
it's
need a
like
revamp again.
it's one of those where like people continue to buy them, and then after they like the game comes out and people are like, or like even before the game comes out when it's like the reviewers have it and people are like, oh, what's the game like, and they just go, I mean, it's Far Cry.
Yeah.
If you played it, you know. It's like, I mean, yeah, you can have as many good villains as you want to, but at the end of the day, it's just another Far Cry game.
Yeah, you're going to do the same stuff a lot to overthrow a villain in the end. So there's that. Probably never going to pay for that much.
Nah.
Never. But something I will probably buy again. Finally, Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden got announcement for its release date for modern platforms for January 19th, 2023. I mean, I'm going to get to enjoy that. I haven't done a run of 4 in a while. 3.
I'll say that plenty of people that were riding the high of Persona 5 will probably be excited to go back and play these now.
I'll be curious to see what people's take on 3 is, because even though Portable updated a lot of stuff, I wonder if they updated anything more, because 3 is definitely rough to go back to, just because it was the first of them to do the current standard system of Persona. So it's very base bones.
Yeah, I feel like with that, people will end up picking it up. It's like, especially people that played 5 and are looking for more Persona will probably pick up 3 and 4 and then start to play 3 and go, let's try, or they may work their way backwards and go, let's play 4, and then they go, let's play 3, and they go, okay, well, they're either gonna be like, okay, yeah, this I can see where they're coming from and power through, or they're just gonna go, I had fun with the other 2.
I mean, 3's fun. It's got a great story and all that stuff. What would be really rough would be for anyone who tried to go back to Persona and couldn't get through that. I mean,
yeah,
I did. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I also like those old systems.
but yeah, I was gonna say just going as well. It's like it seems like we could be getting, or the Call of Duty 2025 could potentially be a sequel to Advanced Warfare.
Oh God, no! Please no.
I mean, I think people liked it. I don't know. I wasn't in the Call of Duty sphere at the time of these games that they had like that. It's like it's like this is rumor right now, so maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't happen. Maybe it'll just be another Call of Duty game. But whatever happens, people, I mean, everyone in the Call of Duty sphere will buy it. And then if it's not what they wanted, they'll still play it for the next year.
How do you think Call of Duty will die?
I don't I don't know if it ever fully dies. I think what ends up happening is potentially like other variations of the game come out because like Warzone is out there and
Mm-hmm.
it's the most popular or it's one of the most popular BRs out there up there with I mean the because really the big three BRs are Fortnite, Warzone, and Apex,
Yeah.
and then like Battle PUBG of course.
Yes.
Uh, but it's like those are the top dogs when it comes to that sphere. Uh, and I can only assume that in the next few years some other variation of like an FPS genre will come out, and then Call of Duty will jump on that and have their own variation of it. And just I could see eventually them having their own like standalone games like that that just slowly pull people away from the mainline type game because that standard like 5v5 or 4v4 whatever it ends up being like TDM or capture the flag and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Over time it's become less and less popular
Yeah,
unless
you're
it's
right.
for specific types of games. Like specific specific genres of games get away with it or like specific settings of games that have other mechanics happening get away with it more so. Cuz like as we've seen it's like uh as we saw Halo Infinite, I mean along with its many other problems that it's had, at the core of it was a good game
Mm-hmm.
that didn't have a lot of content to offer besides capture the flag, like free for all and TDM and stuff like that. And at least on PC, it has not lasted.
No.
It's like it's harder and harder to keep people interested with the basic game modes that everybody used to just like live and
Play
breathe
for
for.
religiously.
Like now, it's like now you could play that, or you could go play a BR, or you could go play some free to play game that has a lot more to it, or a lot more to offer.
Or go play GTFO.
Yeah, it's like the FPS genre has so many different options right now, where I could see, and especially like some of these games, like we got information saying like the Halo is trying to make their BR, we
Yes.
got the Warzone, and that I could see like if more game modes came out and got popular like the BR did, and then Call of Duty being like, well, let's do one of those. I could see them starting to just kind of like pull their own audience away from itself.
Fair enough. Okay. I was just curious because I mean, I think we're in agreement that Call of Duty as a franchise will probably never die at this point.
It's I don't think I think eventually it'll go away from its main line of what it's known for, which is
Yeah.
just the TDM, the search and destroy, and things like that. If anything, some of the modes like search and destroy will be what keeps it going.
More than likely, since that's the mode that a lot of people play, especially
Yeah,
competitively.
but yeah. Uh,
Well, I don't got a whole lot left. You got anything left, John?
uh, let's see. Not a ton. It's like a few small things that we had. I mean, Street Fighter 6 beta is out now,
Right, right.
or it's been out, and
People
it's
having
like
fun
people
with
seem to
that,
be enjoying it, and people are making monstrosities.
and the that character creator is ridiculous with how much uh,
It's as bad as
freedom you
the two.
have in it.
I was gonna say it's as bad as the WWE 2K character creator.
Yeah, that one's pretty
It's like
atrocious.
you're seeing monstrosities like to that scale.
Hey, if people
We
having
got
fun with
that.
it, why not?
Yeah. Uh, we could be possibly getting a Crash Bandicoot game announcement. Uh, like at the Game Awards or something.
I mean, that can always be good. Franchises somehow staying alive.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how.
I mean, it got its revival with the remake of the trilogies, and they released a new game that did all right. It didn't do as well as they were hoping after the
Well, that's what I
fandom
was
that was the
saying, 'cause
trilogy, but I mean, it did
it's
good.
like the trilogy everybody loved. The fourth game, people were kind of like, eh. We kind of it was almost like everybody got their fill with the trilogy, and then the new game came out, and they're like, yeah, we kind of crashed out.
Exactly.
So maybe enough time has passed to where people people will be excited for it again.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's I think that's about all I got for now.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hit the music then, and we can slowly bow our way out of here. There it goes. So, this has been another Gamesthetic without Alex. Maybe he'll be back next week. Maybe he won't. I don't know. But until then, you can always go check out our sponsors of Agent Inc., Wayward Beard Company, Rogue Energy, Red Dragon, and all of our codes and links and all that fun stuff's down below. And as well as our Discord, you can always join and say hi there. And our website at SparkE3.com. Sign up for $5 a month and really help us out. Or just sign up for free and let us know that there's traffic there. It really does help. I mean, and of course, like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help.
Yeah, do everything he said, and if you've made it to the end of another episode with us, thank you very much. And we'll be back next week. Maybe Alex will be here, maybe he won't. We're able to hold this down pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
We ain't go. It's like we keep it going.
But
Yeah, hopefully you'll be here, be back with us next week.
thank you for everyone who's watching this. We either came and joined us live, or if you're watching this later. As we said, we'll be here next Saturday, around 6, just as usual. Maybe with Alex, maybe with not. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.